Notoriety Sports Network, built different.
What's up,
good,
basketball buddy?
Oh, I'm hyped for this one.
Are you?
I'm hyped.
Can you tell I am too?
Just
I'm not biased at all, bro. At all.
I kept it good. I was like, I'm not gonna be biased today just because of. Let's see. How you doing, James?
Good.
Oh man.
We know Rockets winning the division talk on this, but
I told you I'm not gonna be that biased. I was like, nah.
Hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The conversation just started.
I was like, man, hold on.
Thank you guys.
What's up?
I'll keep you guys in check.
Thank you. Well, see, I was about to say I tried to vouch for you and get you like honorary Bayou City Boys status, but Caleb has said the only way that you could get that is if you can name 5 Astros and 5 Texans.
Current or ever?
Yeah, current.
5 Astros, Altuve. Oh man, I've been out of baseball.
Damn, man, I told him you could.
Bregman.
Yeah.
Let me go to the Texans real quick. Tyrod.
Yeah.
They traded for David Johnson. They got Duke Johnson.
Nope, we cut him.
You cut Duke Johnson?
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Sorry, bro.
I'm losing my status. Yeah.
Dang.
We'll try again.
Sean Watson.
Oh, yeah, you got 3.
I'll think of them as we go.
All right, good deal. All right, tell them what basketball division we're doing. The Southwest?
Yes, sir. Southwest Division. You got your New Orleans Pelicans, San Antonio Spurs, Dallas Mavericks, Memphis Grizzlies, and the Houston Rockets.
Well, let's do like last week, and we'll start with who we think is going to win the division. I think it's going to be Memphis.
Memphis.
I really do, because they've been to. If you really look at all the other teams, they've kind of been together the longest.
Okay, I could see that. I mean, I'm not agreeing with you, but
Who do you got?
I think I still got Dallas up there. I think they end up trading Kristaps Porzingis at some point.
Considering they got Moses Brown from Dallas, I 100% can see that happening.
You know what? I think I'm gonna have to agree with Zach on this one. I was thinking about doing it before the show, picking Memphis, but it was tough.
Well,
but
here's my thing. Just a quick overview of all the teams to me. It's like San Antonio, they don't have good enough big men to play with anybody, in my opinion. Nobody has a clue what New Orleans ever is doing. Not even New Orleans.
They don't.
No freaking clue. Houston's too young to have any kind of expectation of them. So that leaves Dallas and Memphis, and I just think that Memphis is the better team.
I think Dylan Brooks is better than anyone on Dallas outside of Luka, obviously.
Well, the thing about Dallas is that in free agency, they brought in the kind of players they need, like 3-and-D players.
Yeah.
But they're all old. So now you have like Luka at the point with Brunson as your backup, and then you have Hardaway, Reggie Bullock, and then they got Sterling Brown from us. So you kind of they're all the same to me.
Yeah.
So what are they doing? But they do have a bunch of big men over there. So I'll give them that. That might be a problem for the rest of the West.
You know who Memphis's oldest player is?
Probably Steven Adams.
It's Steven Adams, and he's 29.
That's a good pickup for them.
I love that pickup for him.
That was a good pickup for them because they'll get to hide Jaren Jackson Jr. a little bit and not have to be so big, you know?
And I like Jaren Jackson. I think he was coming back from the injury, a little bit rusty last year in the playoffs. I think he's just going to keep taking steps forward. I'd rather have him than Porzingis.
I would rather have Porzingis for one reason is he's just a better shooter. Like his shot's more pure from the 3-point line, and I don't like how Jaren Jackson shoots. And then more times than not, he'll go to the box and post up more than Jaren Jackson will. I don't think Jaren Jackson does that enough for somebody so big.
Yeah, that's something he's going to need to add to his game.
But I also like the reason Memphis excites me is because they got Xavier Tillman, big man, physical. He can score a little bit. Brandon Clark from Gonzaga, he's a mobile power forward. So they got good players. And I just think they did good in the playoffs. Like nothing came easy against them. They play defense. They get buckets off of it.
I wasn't really thrilled with their pick, Zaire Stanford. I thought that was a little bit of a reach for him, but he's another super young guy. Kind of fits their 4-year plan, if you will. But
they got another guy on their bench. He's like a 2-guard. His name is Desmond Bain. He's like really muscular.
Oh yeah,
the dude can hoop. Like he can play.
He played well against the Jazz in round one when he came in. It's tough because if Luka wins MVP or is in the MVP discussion, you would think that would elevate the Mavericks enough to win this division. But you could say the same thing about Ja. I think Ja was a little bit inconsistent last year. He had some stretches where he was just making young mistakes. He's only 21, 22 years old, so it's going to happen. So if he plays more consistently and takes the next step that Luka did, if Ja's an MVP, maybe not an MVP, but if he's in an All-NBA discussion or even a third-team All-NBA discussion, I think that would lift Memphis with the talent they have around them to be division.
But if Ja was as aggressive as Luka and that ball dominant, don't you think it would hurt that team? Because I feel like what makes Ja good on that particular team is because he's one of the best point guards in the league at playing off the ball. And I don't think that Luka could do that like Ja, because Ja's like, I'll make the cut, I'll come off the screens, I'll hand off, and then make a play off of that. And I don't think Luka does that as well as Ja. Plus, Ja's super athletic. Everybody's scared of getting dunked on.
So, man, I don't know. Like, seeing Luka play for his country in the Olympics, like, this dude was put his whole country on his back. But I do get the fact, though, that a lot of these guys play harder for their country than they do for their team. I mean, he did say, I'd rather win a title for my country than with the Mavs. So I do agree that, you know, I love the Steven Adams pickup for Memphis. Like, I've always been a fan of him. And I won't be mad, honestly, if them, because I'm a huge fan of Ja. I love watching him play. But I don't know. I don't want to give. I still think Kristaps gets traded, and whatever Dallas does get from that trade will push them over Memphis just a bit. It's just how I feel. That's my gut.
In theory, that's 100% the way it should work. But here's the thing. Do you trade Porzingis for the sake of trading him or to make the team better? What I mean by that is, like, do you take best value so you get rid of the contract? Or do you say, I'm trading Porzingis for the player that's going to help me? Because ain't anybody just going to jump on Dallas and be able to play with Luka. Luka's kind of hard to play with.
Oh, he is. He's one of those. Luka reminds me. Oh man, who was the player that I had in my head?
He's like James Harden. He's James Harden.
I don't know. I would say he's a little worse than James.
No, with James Harden. It's like you knew your job: shoot the 3-pointer or catch the alley. And then with Luka, it's like, damn, he wants me to do more than that.
He also complains a lot. He yells at the refs maybe more than Harden does.
Oh yeah, but I always think that there may be things being said to Luka on that court that we don't necessarily know about. As a matter of fact, I will almost guarantee it. There's some pretty hateful things being said to him. But anyway, back to Memphis. The reason I picked Memphis is one of the most underrated pickups in the whole offseason. Memphis got Jarrett Culver from Minnesota.
Oh, you still believe?
Yep.
The Texas Tech guy?
Dude can hoop. He just was in, like Nick would call it, purgatory in Minnesota, doing nothing. He's going to go to Memphis and get a chance, and he's going to do – I think he'll do well. He'll prove that he's a pro at the very least.
Yeah, they have an identity too. I feel like Dallas's identity is just get it to Luka and hope for the best, where Memphis has a lot more synergy together. They're a fast team. They're a young team. I think they're built for the grind of a season a little bit more than Dallas, because if Luka doesn't get traded or if he gets hurt before he gets traded, then Dallas is really going to be struggling down the stretch. So that's where Memphis's depth and youth, I think, will really benefit them.
Because all we've said about him, we still haven't mentioned Kyle Anderson, who's kind of like the OG on that team. You know what I mean? He came from San Antonio, and they run offense through him a lot. So it don't seem like much, but that's just less of a burden on Ja.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Dallas, like, if you look at Dallas, it's just Luka.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, is it's like you could do no right with playing with Luka. Not to say that he's a bad player, but like we talked a lot of crap about Porzingis, but it's like about a particular game, it's like, damn, dude went 19 and 12 on 7 shots. He was 7 for 9, so you can't really fault him for doing anything wrong. He's just not on the spot that a team he needs to be.
So we all agree that these two teams are in a different tier than the rest of the division?
Yeah. Well, San Antonio's right there with Dallas to me, though. Because
really?
They have the guards to play with anybody. Like, they can shut a perimeter down against any team. In my you got DeJounte Murray, amazing on-ball guard. Keldon Johnson, score. They drafted a 2 guard, Derek White. What's the dude they got from Miami? They used to have the stupid hair.
Lonnie Walker.
They can play with anybody on the perimeter. They just don't really have bigs. But they don't have bad bigs because they signed Thaddeus Young. They got Zach Collins from Portland, Jakob Poeltl still, Eubanks. So, I mean, they're not complete trash, but if you play freaking Joel Embiid, you're finna give up 40 points.
I actually had San Antonio closer to the bottom of this division than the top. I think I wouldn't be even shocked if Houston was slightly better. I probably won't go that far since I already lost my Bayou Boys credit anyway. Laramie Tunzel, Carlos Carrasco. There's 2 more.
There you go.
Push my way up. No, but just looking at their roster, I was just uninspired. You're right, they do have some nice young guards. They drafted Primo, who is super raw, super young. It just feels like they're finally hitting the whole reset button, which is totally understandable and fine. But it just kind of feels like one of those years where San Antonio is just going to – it might be Pop's last year. They might just go for the lottery, and they might, just try to get a top 4 or 5 pick next year, build around this young core. Maybe Pop retires, Becky Hammond becomes a coach. I'm just speculating, but it just kind of feels like the end of an era where the last few years they've been a little bit middling, going for the 7 and 8 seed in the West with Rosen and Aldridge. I just think it's time to fully reset, and they have the youth to do that now. But then they're getting guys like you said, Thad Young, that makes you think otherwise. So I'm just curious to see what they're going for, and that's why I have them a little bit lower.
I think they're at a point where like you have to start shipping assets out. It's like, all right, it's been a long, long time since we made a bang of a trade, and that's what they need to do. Why there's bigs? I mean, imagine if somehow San Antonio was able to pull a trigger on a CJ McCollum trade or something. You know,
we got a question from Facebook. Will Memphis be a top 5 playoff team coming out of the West next season?
Hell no, not even close.
You have them winning this division,
but they're not going to be top 5.
Who you got top 5 then?
Lakers, Denver, Clippers, Golden State,
Utah.
So 6.
Maybe if they're lucky. I don't know, because it could be one of those things where Phoenix Suns from last year, and then they go on a run and it keeps them at the top. It's possible. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because you don't know how good Phoenix is going to be this year. If that was like a one-trick pony, or if they come back. Because if they're better than every team in this division.
That's what's tough about this division. There's a lot of talent. It's a lot deeper than the Central we did last week. But at the same time, I don't think any of these guys are really that close to being a contender. Like, would you think any of these guys could make the Western Finals even?
I feel
the thing about it is like the graphic you look at that Nick made, it's all star power. Like there's stars there, but it's like there's not winning teams, you know?
I feel every team in this division has a building block for the future, though, if they know how to use it.
That was my point. It's like none of us may be at the top right now, but in 4 years we may have 3 teams at the top, you know?
Yeah, and I mean that's the one thing though. I feel like last week's we did Central. It was Milwaukee, and then you were kind of like, all right, well, it was just Chicago, and then it's Indiana, and then it was like, okay, well,
yeah.
And whereas this one, it's like
we should have named that show Milwaukee and them.
You put okay. I mean, like I said, I picked Dallas to win this division. You two picked Memphis. I'm not mad at it though, honestly.
But like the fact that none of us are really talking about New Orleans, that kind of pisses me off because I'm a Zion fan.
I'm a Zion fan too, but
all the things they did in the offseason, the starting lineup's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
bro. When you got Zion Williams and then you bring in Stan Van Gundy, I was not a fan anymore. Because the thing is, I get it. But to me, all he reminds me is an overhyped dunker. That's it. And it's not only his fault, but there are parts of his game where I'm like, dude, you need to lose a little bit of weight, stop winding yourself out, and change some stuff up, I feel.
You know what I think?
It's not just his fault, because he should be taught how to do this stuff in the NBA from taking that next leap, I feel. And
but there's a difference between a guy in a suit telling you what you need to do to be a professional basketball player and a dude who plays basketball on your team to show you how to play pro ball. What he needs is a dominant point guard that's going to come and say, no, this is how we're going to do it. Get your big ass in line and let's go win games. And they're bringing in rookie point guards who are soft. Satoransky's a good pick, but I don't think he makes the team that much better.
Yeah, Eric Bledsoe's not that point guard either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just think about what Chris Paul did for DeAndre Ayton, and that's what Zion needs.
Let's see. FW Sativia says Zion needs a Chris Paul type point guard to play with, slim down, get a 17-footer.
Thank you, sir. He just agreed with me.
I mean, I agree.
The thing about it is,
I agree with you.
Who's that guy? Like, who do you go get? That's why I think for what they paid him, they missed out on Mike Conley.
I mean, man, that boy got paid by Utah, though.
I know, but
I don't know. To me, though, it's like it's tough because you have a talent in Zion, but also you don't want to overpay people because then you're going to ruin your future. But you also don't want to waste his time there also, because then you don't want another Anthony Davis incident where he's like, all right, I'm out of here, bro. Gone.
It's gonna happen there. It's
coming. His dad already, from what rumors said, said, hey, they're wasting my son's talent. And it's very weird. Like, and it's just those things where I feel it's management failing him, which sucks for the city of New Orleans. But
no, what the problem is they let the wrong player leave. You should have re-signed Lonzo Ball and got best trade value for Ingram. Ingram is the odd man out because he's in everybody's way. Yep. I get it. He's a good player and he was an all-star, but you don't belong on this team.
Yeah. I like Brandon Ingram too. It's just a terrible, terrible fit with Zion, because Zion was his best last year when he was running kind of the point.
Exactly.
And I mean, part of that was Van Gundy. And I think getting rid of Van Gundy will just be a plus in general. But if you're going to have point Zion, you can't have Brandon Ingram because he wants the ball. He wants to find his shot. He wants to ISO. So, yeah, you're spot on. They probably should. I think you could still get some decent trade value for Brandon Ingram.
Oh, I think that you could get a really good trade out of it. But that goes back to like that Dallas conversation, is like, when I get rid of you, I need to get a player that's going to make us better, like now. But I don't know who that person is.
Let's see. He has mid-tier point guard, but who?
Lonzo Ball.
I mean,
honestly, and I keep harping on it because I wanted to get traded, but that might be the kind of dude that you call Portland and be like, okay, McCollum, and what else can I get? You know what I mean?
And I think that comes down to, though, finding your identity of your team.
Well, no, it's like James said. Zion wants to play the point, so you don't need the elite point guard. That mid-tier does work. But if I can get another dude who could go get his own bucket, that means the world, especially one that wants to face up at the three-point line and shoot it from there, because that's out of the way.
But that's what I'm saying. They need to find an identity of who the hell is the leader of this team. Because if, like you said, Zion's the leader, which it should damn sure be because that's your pick, you trade Ingram and do moves out the way. Because if not, I feel you're going to end up with what happened with, oh, shoot, Trae Young just came out of wrestling. That's dope as hell.
I've seen that. Trae Young's on SmackDown.
But the thing is, though, like, if you do it, I feel you're going to end up kind of in like a Philadelphia 76ers situation where you have two guys that they can play together. They shouldn't be playing together, but you're forcing it now because of talent. And then at some point, these dudes are going to just bump heads. I mean, you see it a lot of times where it's like, guys, I mean, you have these super teams that they want to play together. They find a way to play together. And then you have these young guys that are like, I'm still trying to get my name out. You're still trying to get your name out. Is this my team? Is this your team? And
like a good trade for that, another one would be something like Ingram for Colin Sexton. The money's the same, relatively the same age. Both numbers are the same. They just go about doing it different.
That would make the Pelicans pretty explosive. And then Ingram and with the Cavs, another big. But
yeah, but he's he's the small forward they need, you know?
And Markkanen would be interesting. Yeah, this reminds me a little bit when Jason Kidd was with the Bucks and he first made Giannis the point guard, and no one really knew what the idea was. But I mean, I think it helped Giannis develop his game overall. But it took until they got Bledsoe that they took the next step in the playoffs, and then it took them to get Drew Holiday to take that next step. So like while Giannis helped Giannis develop his court vision and other aspects, I don't think it would have been like a good 5-year plan. And that brings us back to Zion, where having him run point for now, I think is fine. It's a good way for him to mature and learn the game a little bit more and have that vision. But if they want to become a contender in the next 5 years before he leaves, they're going to need to get an actual point guard in there to help him take that next step in his own game.
Well, it's like the comment you read the other day, second ago from what's his name? He said Zion needs a 17-footer. If you played with a real point guard, we play pick and roll or pick and pop, and I shoot the mid-range, I can work off the mid-range if I'm hot in the first quarter. Pump fake, go to the rim. You know what I mean? Or you get a mismatch in the paint. So he needs a point guard to show him how to play pro ball. That's what it is. This ain't freaking Duke. You're not running on a high school court no more. You're going to have to develop some skill. Don't be like Ben Simmons and just rely on athleticism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's when it gets dangerous.
Because that's the problem now is people have been patting him on his back his whole life, and now it seems like, I don't want to call him lazy, but it seems like he don't want to work to get better. I mean, I'm sure he is, but
he's only 22, right? 21.
Yeah, he's real young. I haven't seen it. It hasn't transitioned to an NBA game, you know? And I don't want Zion to do that.
Do you think Zion could ever, if he reaches his potential, would you take him over Luka?
Never.
You don't think at his full potential he'd be more dominant than Luka?
Here's my thing, is I don't think that Zion will ever be the kind of person who can dominate a game on the defensive side.
Do you think Luka could?
No, but Luka can do many things. Like I can facilitate or score, like a lot. You know what I mean? And they're equal rebounders to me, because nothing special about how Zion rebounds.
No,
so I would go with. I think Luka will be better, like at their max potential.
Much better shooter.
Much better shooter. I mean, even if we're being honest, and I'm going to give a little bit of leeway to Zion for saying this, but even with their back to the basket in the post, Luka's a little bit better. And I know it's harder for a lefty, but Zion, he's really all power, not skill, you know?
I don't know. I just imagine peak Zion if he reaches his potential, adds all these aspects, adds the mid-range. It could be scary. It could be a little Giannis-like. It could be a little Barkley-like.
I think that one of the things that we underestimate is Zion and all that you're speaking of. Think about how good Blake was in 15 and 16, and that's kind of what Zion should be shooting for. And even at that point, nobody was scared of Blake.
Yeah, it's true. They only got so far you can only get so far when Blake Griffin's your best or second best player. Well, in his prime.
The fact that Giannis, LeBron, KD, and like Kawhi, those guys, why they really are the best in the world is because I can dominate a game on offense anyway. I prefer to just square you up and go by you. And when you have a player like Zion or like a Joel Embiid and you're a little slower at doing it, we got to go set it up for you. Those teams you can't beat, I think, because they're not Shaq. Shaq did it in one dribble and go up. These guys, they want to pound you a couple times and make a move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. All right, are we moving down to the basement of this division?
I thought we just did, because I know we ain't talking about my Rockets.
Let's read some comments. Hold on. Pels have such a weird team, no identity. Zion needs that Kobe beside him, a Devin Booker, Dame type player. Maybe they can land a CJ McCollum and a 1 point. But right now, they wasting Zion. Shaking my head. Satia goes, when you don't involve him early, he tunes out.
Because he ain't but 20 years old.
Dylan goes, even Zion with a DeAndre Fox, he doesn't have to have an all-star, but he needs someone close. I say even a Ben Simmons with an extra shooter, like straight shooter.
No, that De'Aaron Fox that'd be good.
Luka is next level.
Yeah, Luka.
Basketball George about Luka.
Like for real, Luka, he's definitely top 10 player in the world. I don't know about top 5.
I think Luka could win MVP this year. I wouldn't be shocked.
I don't ever foresee Luka winning MVP.
Really?
Not because I just don't think that he has a full season of Luka basketball, because every year there's probably like 10, 15 games where he don't do so well, or he's hurt, or something happens,
I could just see him putting it all together. Maybe not this year, maybe it's next year, but there was a little Luka buzz last year for MVP as a dark horse, so I think that's just going to grow.
He was doing well, but he got hurt. Like, let's just keep it real. The reason that Joker won it is because he played all the games. Yeah. Not to say he didn't play, but if they stayed the course, Embiid was winning that, Yeah. And Luka, I don't see a full season in him every year. But you can't really hate on that, though, because he carries a heavy workload.
How many potential MVPs do you think are in this division? 2 or 3, or just 1?
I say 2 at best.
Well, I'm going to give
not
you
this year.
Not this year, but forever? Like,
yeah, next 5 years.
3. I'm going to give you Luka because he is talented. Zion because we're still hyping him, and Jalen Green. In 2 years, Jalen Green will be the best player in this division, maybe.
I thought you were gonna say Ja.
No.
I'm going. I ain't even putting Zion on my list. I'm going with Luka, Ja, Jalen Green.
I don't see Ja doing it.
I think Green wins Rookie of the Year this year.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, I think he does too.
Dang, yeah, I was gonna go Luka, Ja, and Zion. Jalen Green, I need to see him a little bit in NBA action. I think he has the potential. I like the pick for Rookie of the Year, but I don't know. That's tough to put him as an MVP.
Nah, I got faith in him.
You said 5 years. Now you said last year, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, 4 or 5 years.
True.
I think Zion's he's gonna end up somewhere else, and he's gonna end up having to figure himself out again and stuff.
No, that's why I feel like Zion's not going to win an MVP because he's going to be loyal to Dallas. He's going to stay there, make a shit ton of money, put up amazing numbers, but they're going to lose. They're going to lose a bunch. It's just like Dirk did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he's going to be for a while. At least through this contract he just signed. I mean, not to sleep on Keldon Johnson because y'all know I like that dude from San Antonio. He can hoop. Dude can hoop.
But I don't know, MVP level.
No, not MVP level, but
I'm about to say, hold on, Zach, man. What was in that soda's messing with your head, bro?
I know, right? Damn that Pepsi.
Josh Primo MVP next 30 years.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be a senior league in 20 years, so yeah, maybe.
Well, in 30 years it'll be like 35, so it'll be.
Yeah, I know, right?
But what do y'all think of the Doug McDermott signing with the Spurs?
I didn't understand that.
I didn't get it. Like that was one of those where like throughout the whole flurry of people.
But I think that's what James. I think that goes to James's point earlier is they accept the fact that they're in a true rebuild, right? Because they didn't get stupid money, him or Zach Collins, and those are the kind of dudes that you could trade at trade deadline that somebody might need a shooter or a stretch for and say, all right, send me a late round first rounder, or something like that.
That's the only way it makes sense that they're using him as trade bait. Otherwise, I don't know why McDermott wouldn't have gone elsewhere. I mean, I doubt he could have got that kind of money. It's not like he got a lot, but I don't think any contender was able to pay him that much. So, yeah, maybe that's it. The Spurs are just stashing these mid-level guys and then around the deadline, flip them to the Lakers or Clippers or wherever it may be. But it was another one of those, like I mentioned, like, what are you doing if you're trying to blow it up and rebuild? Then I think McDermott makes you slightly better. He's a knockdown shooter. He could really help a lot of teams.
Yeah, he could help teams like the Lakers, Denver.
Even the Pelicans could have used a guy like McDermott.
Philly for sure. Like
man. Pelicans need a whole new owner, GM, new logo.
I just don't understand what Philly is doing because you're obligated to play players in certain spots just because of the way the team is built and what you're paying them. It's like you're still starting with Ingram, Josh Hart, and Zion. And they didn't play good together. So I don't know how you can be confident as a Pelican fan coming into the season. I wouldn't be. But I am confident coming into the season as a Rockets fan. The Rockets team is better than y'all think, people.
They're going to be fun this year. I mean,
great draft.
The draft they did, I loved it.
I mean, we do. That's what everybody's harping on. Is like the young cats that we drafted, but we got vets on our team, bro. We still got John Wall, Eric Gordon, Nwaba, Christian Wood, Avery Bradley still on the roster, DJ Augustine still on the roster. So,
shoot,
DJ Augustine is the only one he's washed.
I forget he's there, so don't worry about James. He's gonna be on the back end of the bench. Just
I like Kevin Porter Jr. Like, who's the other junior you have? You have
Kenyon Martin Jr.
Kenyon Martin Jr.
Yeah. Both those guys, I like some of their upside. It's a team of all upside, and
the only issue is like now you kind of got a bunch at that 3-4 spot. It's like you got Kenyon, you got Jayshawn Tate, you got Kmart Jr., you drafted Garuba, you re-signed Nwaba. If we're honest, Kevin Porter Jr. is just he's a small forward.
Yep.
So I'm trying to find out what Silas is doing. But definitely you have to, because like if you watched the Rockets last year, Kenyon Martin Jr. earned playing time. Jayshawn Tate earned playing time. Nwaba earned playing time. But they're all kind of backups to me.
I love speculating trades, but it seems like a perfect fit with the Cavs. We're talking about the Cavs have all these bigs and no 2 or 3s, and then the Rockets have all these 2 3s and not a ton of bigs.
Yeah.
There has to be some kind of trade there between 2 rebuilding teams.
Me and Zach talk about it
but if
every
you think,
Wednesday.
we talk about it all the time. If you think about it, we got 3 guys on our team damn near 7 foot already. You got Daniel Tice, who's like 6'10", Christian Wood, Alperen Sengun, the dude from Turkey we drafted, who has to get minutes. He don't have to start, but he got to get minutes.
Yeah.
Garuba from Spain, he's like 6'8", 6'9", but he plays super long. He's really a power forward. He has to get minutes. So I don't think we're hurting for a big man.
I think for sure though, if you want the way they're going is they want to give the young talent playing time. I think for sure, I mean, you and me have always said this, that they have to trade either John Wall or Eric Gordon, because those 2 guys are going to demand playing time just because of where they're at in their career and the money we're paying them. And I just feel to benefit both sides and both parties, you trade one of them. I mean, Eric Gordon's probably the easiest one to trade off. John Wall's going to be difficult.
Wall would have to be a buyout almost, and that would be an expensive buyout.
Yeah, that's I mean, Tillman, bro.
That's kind of my point, is like to sweeten the pot on a John Wall trade to get somebody to take that deal or something. Even Eric Gordon, because he makes a ton of money, you have to come to the terms that we're probably going to have to send somebody away that we don't want to get rid of, like a Jayshawn Tate or a Kmart Jr. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's why they loaded up.
From watching Summer League and all Kevin Porter's workout videos and his Drew League tapes and all that, I still think that this team needs a true point guard on it for now.
Yeah.
Because they both play super good off the ball, and that's a kind of unfair pressure to put on both of them to go run a team. Yeah. Especially Jalen Green.
When's John Wall? Is he healthy?
Ish.
They closed him. They shut him down at like with 20 games left of the season because they didn't want to. There was nothing left to play for. They were like, dude, you got a hamstring injury. Just sit out the rest of the season. We're gonna put the young guys in. So he should be healthy. I mean, I don't know. Stuff happens. Look at the Pacers. They just lost a guy in practice. I mean, nobody wants to be the Baltimore Ravens in basketball right now. So it's
like snake bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
Just keep Kmart. Don't be a goofy H-Town, please. I love Kmart, man.
No, I do too. But the problem with him and Tate is they're both small forward size.
Yeah.
Can't none of them jokers shoot.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, you have to do a coin flip on one of them. I mean,
for me, it's not a coin flip. I trade Tate.
Yeah, I would trade Tate also. I think Kenyon Martin Jr. has more upside.
Here's the difference: is Jayshawn Tate is a better playmaker. He's Draymond Green on offense. Kmart Jr. is Draymond Green on defense. So what do you want?
I want Kenyon Martin Jr.
There you go.
Plus, I love seeing Kenyon Martin at the Rockets games, just chilling, laughing, and stuff. It brings excitement to our team that's going to probably be fighting with Minnesota at the bottom. But still, I know I'm a realist fan. All right, I'm putting them last in this conference, but I like their upside. So, who you put in? You put them over Pelicans or what?
I do.
I mean, I hope so.
I put them over the Spurs.
I think the Spurs got something up their sleeve, like you said, bro. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't go take a shot at Ben Simmons.
Oh,
I could see them being a team that goes after.
For one, it benefits both. It benefits the Spurs. It benefits Simmons, and
I'd like that. Yeah, that'd be a good fit for Ben.
Yeah, I think that too.
He gets to be with Greg Popovich for a bit. That'd be nice.
A coach that's renowned, helped Kawhi's shot.
I mean, because it would kind of appeal. Like if you would obviously send DeJounte Murray to Philly, which would help Philly.
Yeah.
and then you just have to send them something else, like a good bench player, maybe a pick or something, or a couple picks.
And the thing with that is, though, like, you also get, I mean, the way the San Antonio's management is, they know how to build around a star talent. So if you get Ben, that's your star talent, and now you just start going. I mean, it's a small market, but with Greg Popovich still there, the organization, how it's been run, you'll get some big names. They'll be like, you know what, I'll go join Ben type of stuff. Whereas I feel
R.C. Buford's still their GM. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
FW Sativa goes, Ben should look at H-Town. I actually wouldn't mind Ben Simmons here, but now what we got, I don't want him.
Yeah, I don't want him no more.
I wanted him before the draft, but now we got Jalen Green, and I saw our rookies play, and I'm like, we're good. I want to say this, though. How do y'all – I remember, like, hearing about it during the season, and I don't get it. Like, okay, I know New Orleans is New Orleans. It's a small market. I mean, if you look at it, out of all these teams, the only big market really is Houston. It's one of the biggest cities. But San Antonio has that Greg Popovich organization feel where it's like you trust it. But what about Dallas? Like, I always feel like Dallas can never get a big superstar to ever go there. It's difficult to get anybody to go play with Dirk Nowitzki.
It's the same as football. Is you got a real vibrant, over-the-top owner, and you're Dallas.
I'm like, you get no state tax, you get nothing, but – and, like, no offense, San Antonio. I've been to San Antonio. I've been to Dallas. I mean, I live in Houston. They all after the muddy river and Riverwalk in San Antonio, they ain't much to do. Like, Dallas has a nicer city, but I don't want to go there either. Like, I'd rather go to San Antonio's muddy river for a weekend than go to Dallas. Just something about the city.
It's just like people think we're assholes saying that because we're from Houston, because you could go to one side of Houston and it's like, this looks like Dallas. Right, and then you go to the other side of Houston and be like, this looks like San Antonio. So we got all that shit in one spot.
Yeah, it's like the road trip test. If you're driving from like the middle of Texas, Amarillo, Lubbock, whatever, and you see the sign for San Antonio, see the sign for Dallas, I'm going to San Antonio. It's just better food, a few more attractions. Like,
and let's just be honest. If you had your choice, the San Antonio jerseys just look cooler.
And the history.
Yeah.
More championships. The whole city supports you. And Dallas is a football town. It's never gonna be a basketball town, no matter they've had two generational talents, and it's still 100% a football town.
But it's also like that team's not particularly been ran well either. Like when Donnie Nelson was there, he was GM there. He just spent money, and it just seemed like he knew what he was doing. But think about all the players they lost that went and did good elsewhere. Like, even way back in the days, like, y'all lost Steve Nash. Y'all would have had a ring a lot earlier.
Let's see. Dylan goes, Cavs are planning on offering Luka Markkanen and either Garland or Sexton for Simmons. They said Morey keeps hanging up, but Cleveland keeps calling. Cavs going to make a big trade just to land Ben. Watch, they planning for October 27th. Markkanen is available to be traded. I mean, it sounds like a Daryl Morey move.
Morey's greedy. He wants this. That's a good return for Simmons.
I don't agree with that at all. I don't want you. Markkanen, you're overloaded at bigs. You signed Drummond to play with Embiid. And then I'm not bringing another 7-footer who's going to be in Simmons and Embiid's way.
But I think, okay, do you think with Ben Simmons saying that he don't care about his trade value, that's on them to figure out? You don't think that diminished his trade value even more now? I think it did. I think if I'm a GM, bro, he already don't want to be there.
To me, that's just a direct shot to Morey and Elton Brand saying, I don't give a shit about you or what you think I am or am not worth. I don't want to be here. I'm not going to be here.
But I think, though, that's why his price drives a bit down, because now the pressure's on you, Morey. Do you bring him back, or do you?
His value diminishes. His price stays the same because you have to get what you could get from me now because I'm not coming back, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. We know Morey, bro. Morey over here acting like I want a Ferrari, a Lamborghini for Jeremy Lin, bro. Like this the same dude that be like, no, I need 15 first-round picks for James Harden type shit. Like, it don't make sense. Like, his mindset, sometimes you hear him talking to the media and you're like, what the hell are you talking about, bro? Like, And I just feel for Golden State to pull out, for Minnesota to pull out, bro. Like, Minnesota can't even do nothing right. Sacramento to pull out, bro. Your asking price has to be ridiculously high for these teams to be like, now we're out, bro. Like, I'm like, those are two teams I thought for sure would be in there. I mean, Cleveland, like we've said last week, they have a ton of options that they can throw at them, but let's see. Dylan go. You can go, James. You can go, James. I'll read it after.
I was just to say, I would like Sexton with Philly, though. I think he could really show off. But
I like the trade.
I would rather see DeJounte Murray go over there because I want Ben Simmons on the Spurs.
You want to play him?
I think he'd be good in the West.
To Dylan's point, I'd rather play for Cuban than Jerry Jones.
That's not saying much.
No. Oh,
I like Cuban, man. He's on Shark Tank and everything. Let's see. What city in Texas got the best donuts? The whole state's going to say Shipley's Donuts.
Yeah, Shipley's Donuts is based in Houston, but they're all over the place.
It's like Whataburger here. Like, it's just a Texas chain of deliciousness.
Yeah.
That's why Cavs don't want Laurel. They got Mobley and Jack. What do y'all think about those Simmons leaked texts?
I didn't read about that.
Those are the ones where, like I said, he wrote the team saying it's not for me to make my trade value go up. This is kind of like on you type of shit. I know Charles Barkley said something and Shaq said something against him. Like, Shaq was like, bro, you ain't that good, dog.
Yeah, that's true. But who leaked the text? Was it if Ben didn't leak them, then
it was Clutch.
Sounds like him. Hey.
Sounds like a Rich Paul move.
It's like, hey, trade now.
But that's the thing is he's making his point to Philly. I was like, I'm not coming back. You better get what you can get for me. It's no different than when Harden got traded. The game before we played the Lakers, you visibly seen Harden give up on the team.
Facts. And I think that's what turned the city against him.
Of course, he got traded the next day and nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared.
The whole city was partying like, okay, good, he's off of here. Because that was so weird, like, to see somebody that went so hard in the paint for us. We know you want to be traded, bro. We know it. But when you got that jersey on, just go out there and play. And he literally just was like, I'm done.
Went to the club.
So if San Antonio does trade for Ben Simmons, does that get them to the top of the division?
No. It gets them out of the bottom. For me, it puts them in third.
Middle of the pack.
Over the Pelicans.
Over the Pelicans, yeah.
You have to surround Ben with shooters. It's the only way. I think after hearing all the talks we've said about Ben, I think San Antonio was probably his best bet to turn it around. Honestly, for an organization, I think that's a great trade for them too, to, like James has said, to start figuring, okay, we're going to start, rebuilding now, but you don't have to do a full rebuild because you have a building piece with you. And
they'll probably be smart enough to keep Keldon Johnson. They might have to get rid of Primo though.
Yeah.
But you got to think about it. If they don't, then that's luck. You know what I mean?
He'd be a good shooter eventually with Simmons.
And the way they draft over there, man, they got some.
That's the kind of shit that sweetens the pot that Philly needs a Doug McDermott. They need a Zach Collins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, San Antonio is not a bad option for the Ben Simmons trade. I think the Cavs are right up there with San Antonio, since, as Nick mentioned, everyone else is pulling out.
I'm just surprised Minnesota and Sacramento. Like, I want to know what that asking price is for them to be like, yeah, now I'm out. This is too much. Like,
I think that Philly's kind of like, we'll ship them off, but we want picks and players. When the other teams are like, we'll give you picks or players, and that's where the asking price is too high.
I think teams are terrified now since there's been so many one-sided trades in the NBA historically, and GMs get a lot more flack now with Twitter and social media than ever before. I think just some GMs are terrified of like not getting enough return for Ben Simmons would look really bad. But then when you have your player demand out says he wants to be traded before the season, there goes your leverage. And so you're not going to get a dollar for a dollar, you're going to get 50 cents or.
Oh, that's why I say the Rockets gave pennies on the dollar on that James Harden trade.
Terrible.
Stolen.
Yeah, that's a good example. Like you had a little bit of leverage. You have one of the best scoring players in the game, and they could have got, even in the trade that happened, they could have got better players, but you could have got Ben Simmons and some picks and pieces. Which
I'm talking about the trade that we to get him is we didn't give shit away. We gave away Jeremy Lamb and Kevin Martin for James Harden. Deal. I'll do it every day, twice on Sunday.
That was the day of my birthday. I was partying in Houston. Hey.
I couldn't believe that when it happened. It's like that's what it took.
Nobody did.
Good, yeah.
Nah, the city went on crazy alert. Like, oh, we have a player now. Okay, big. I mean, oh man,
but it's like we talked about on Bayou City Boys the other day. Somebody posted a video on YouTube, and this was the caption, the title, James. It said, "Did Houston just do the fastest rebuild ever?" Yes.
The Texans have to learn from the Rockets.
I mean, the Rockets. Did the Rockets just pull off the quickest rebuild ever?
Yeah.
Man, I'm Texans. Don't even bring them up right now. I'm scared for Sunday. But the thing is,
and he still.
Oh yeah.
God.
I think you're at 4-4 right now.
Is Lance McCullers still in the Astros?
Who?
Yeah.
Lance McCullers.
He's pitching tomorrow. Yeah.
Astros. You need one Texan.
All right, I'll get back to you.
All right.
Oh man, but yeah, I think like when it comes to this division compared to the last one, the Central that we talked about, though, they all have, like we said, building pieces, and they all have stars for their cornerstone stars. I mean, San Antonio's they can make a trade, bin or whatever, and do it. But I think the only three that are for sure with people right now that are like, yeah, that's legit my cornerstone is Luka, Ja, and Jalen Green. Because San Antonio, you're kind of like that, and I think Zion's going to later just be like, yo, I'm out of here, bro. So
I think that's down the road. I think they shake that team up a lot before that ever happens. Like
Zion.
Huh?
Did you mention Zion?
Zion, you're going to play 8 years anywhere if you're the first round pick like that. So he ain't going nowhere anytime soon.
Right.
But I feel bad for Dallas because if you really think about it, that might be the only team in the division that really have expectation, you know?
Could Dallas reach – I think Dallas has the potential to go farther in the playoffs than anyone else in the division, and I think it's all on Luka getting hot. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be shocked if Dallas made the Western Finals. I don't think they have enough to win it. But I think Luka is good enough and could get good enough to make the definitely the semis. But
that's what I think they are. They're a semifinal team. And there was plenty games where in the playoffs where like Tim Hardaway was on fire.
Yep.
Like dude was balling out. Luka had Luka games. Porzingis was efficient, and y'all weren't close to winning those games. So I just don't know what that team can do.
It reminds me of
Moses Brown getting put on that team helps. You have to trade, like you have trade bait there that you're not using, like Dwight Powell. People would want him. Maxi Kleber, people will want him. So go get you some players. Hopefully Reggie Bullock helps him because he's a decent 3-and-D player.
I just feel like, man, they remind me of the Rockets when we first got Harden. He did enough to get you into the playoffs and take you to the next round, but that was it. You knew once you got there it wasn't enough. And I feel like at some point it's going to come down to them having to – I mean, if Luka and him are still arguing with each other about who's getting playing time and this and that, I mean, who are you trading? Kristaps? Or you trading Luka?
Kristaps. It's going to sound stupid, but in my opinion, the Dallas Mavericks have the absolute best backup point guard in the NBA, Jalen Brunson. I don't think there's a better one. I would be on the phone today and say I will give you Jalen Brunson and Kristaps Porzingis to Boston for Jaylen Brown.
I don't think Boston takes it.
I don't think they do either, but I'm going to make that offer.
Boston don't trade nothing, man.
Right. Maybe with a bunch of picks.
Let's see. Mavs need to trade Porzingis. I love Porzingis, but he's terrible fit in Dallas. Maybe Dirk gets him right now that he's on the staff. We're going to see. I mean, when they first got together, I liked it. I thought they could play together. Now it's kind of like,
I would like to see how good Porzingis would be in Portland.
man, Damian Lillard would probably be happy with that shit.
That'd be fun.
That would be fun, I think. It's either going to be way fun or it's going to be the same. It's like, damn, Porzingis, you can't play off of Lillard either. Because Lillard and Luka are kind of the same.
Yeah, they're very ball dominant. It's my time type of thing. I mean, if you think about it, they both got that clutch gene in them for sure.
Is there anybody in the league more clutch than those two? Maybe KD?
I'd say KD or Curry, maybe. That's about it. And I feel like I would have Curry here, Dame here, and then I would have Kevin Durant here.
Oh,
Luka
not me.
here.
Of those four you listed, Curry's the last one.
That boy can. I just feel he has too much of a talented team. This boy, they be blowing teams out by like 40
Now, I'm
points.
talking about let's be clutch. One possession, one ball, me and the defender. Ain't nobody in the world better than Dame Lillard.
Oh no, Dame time, all the time, bro. If they were like, bro, you are going to die if he doesn't make this, I'd be like, Dame, take the shot.
Somebody
Bro.
said it earlier.
Oh, might be KD.
But as Paul George about Luka and
Yeah.
Dame.
But I mean, KD, if it's a mid-range pull-up, I'll take KD.
Well, yeah, he's gonna make the smarter play of the three, but
Yeah.
there's just some magic that happens when Dame and Luka throw that ball up. That's what makes you a basketball fan. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I want to see if that goes in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, like when it comes to them, I get that Kobe Bryant feel like that's going in, dog. Like they just leave their hand. I'm like, that's going in. Like I give you that with Dame for sure. When that ball leaves his hand, I don't care. He can shoot it from the locker room, and I'm like, man, it's going in. I don't know, dog. Like,
but that's what makes me nervous about Memphis is they don't have one of those. Like they don't have that guy that can go break somebody down off the dribble and shoot the ball over somebody if you need that one bucket. And that's the one thing that makes me nervous about them.
That's true. They don't have a go-getter yet. Could be.
I do have faith in the system and the way that they play.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, I forgot that broke from Memphis. Lakers included their 2024 second-round pick unprotected in the Gasol trade today with Memphis. Yeah, it was a 2024 second-round pick, Marc Gasol and cash to the Grizz.
What they get back?
They got the rights to a Chinese national player.
So they're just dumping money.
And then Marc Gasol is going to get bought out because he wants to remain in Spain. And there was Memphis fans mad. I was like, bro, what the? Like, they were like, why would you trade for him? I was like, it's for the pick, bro. Like,
yeah.
Cash. Like,
it's not for like a retirement season.
He gets to retire though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dylan said, Zach, you're sleeping on Ja.
No, I'm not.
Calvin goes, Ja is a dog. Man, I think Kristaps going to have a bounce-back season. That's what Sai says. Shit, you and Dallas all think that, bro. They need it.
I want to see Porzingis go demand the ball from Luka a little bit more.
I don't know. Well, they got a new coach now.
No, you do what Shaquille O'Neal says is I'm going to go park my big ass right here in the paint, and you don't have a choice but to give it to me because my defender is going to help your defender if you don't. So give me the ball.
Yeah.
It's exactly what Embiid did to Ben Simmons.
But when it comes to Embiid, I feel he has that dog mentality in him. Like, yo, I'm that guy. I just feel with Kristaps, he's like, I'm the guy, I think. Like, I don't get that from even in and I get it. He went to New York first. You went where you should. If you're not a superstar, you don't want to go there because they're going to eat you up a lot. But I don't know. I just don't feel like with him, like you get those certain players you see like, yo, that guy's going to go get his right now. Like, I don't get that from him. Like, it's not that gene that he has. Like, there's certain players that are really good, but they don't have that I'm going to go get this right now type of like feeling. Like, it's just a different gear. Like, I would say Cade Cunningham has that gear that can go get it if he wanted to. Mm-hmm. But I would feel like Jalen Green has that I'm going to go get this, dog. Like, ain't no stopping me. And they're both right here, but it's just you can't teach that other stuff of where it's just like, this is what I want. This is And I mean, like I said, you have players that.
So it's like I always equated it to the difference between like a Jason Tatum and a Brandon Ingram. It's like Ingram should be just as good as Tatum, but he don't take the initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it reminds me of when Drew Holiday said, I'm almost the best defender when it comes to point guards here, but I don't always put my effort in. And it's just like, bro, if you had like a drive, I'm not going to say Westbrook because that's too much of a drive, I feel. But if you had just like a drive to do that, you'd probably be like one of the best point guards here. I get it, though. You're going to drain yourself and all that stuff. You're a champion now, so I'm going to shut up. But the point is, it's just like you get those guys that are like, why do you turn it off like some days? And it's like, you know.
Yeah, but also like there's like your spots, like when you to be there's just like it's not necessary that he needs to be more aggressive. It's like when do I take calculated risk? Because when you don't have that like internal dog in you and you try to force it, it don't do no good. And I'm like Devin Booker, he's just a good ass player, but when he tried to be ultra aggressive, it didn't help nothing.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, well, and everyone did the Kobe talk too soon with Booker and with Tatum, but
yeah, everybody wants to put them like that. I'm like, dog, no, let them be their own thing. I mean, you had people comparing Tatum to Kevin Durant after this season. I was like, bro.
But there's just a lot of guys in the league. You kind of have to do it because you have to think about the guys who do well. Also, false confidence. Like, no disrespect. Pascal Siakam sucks to me. Like, I don't know how you're in this league. Like, you suck, bro. You have 2 moves, and one of them's a carry. And you are a flipping all-star because people told you could be like Giannis. That's the only reason that you do anything.
I am not a Siakam fan. Like, so I think he's average. Like, he's above. I'll say above average. He can bring value to a team, but the way they make him seem is like he's almost up and coming superstar. And I'm like, I'm not building.
But they built that confidence in him, and he goes and performs.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, you're a poor man's Chris Middleton. Like, that's still good, bro. Like, I'm not giving you Giannis status though. Giannis can. But
that's the thing is he knew that he was like Giannis. He's like, I'm super long. I got one dribble between the legs, and then I just go up or get fouled. That's his game. That's the extent of it. Giannis used to be that way. So now he's thinking, I could be like Giannis. You can't, bro. You can't.
It's kind of like when Rudy Gobert tries any offensive post move, and then he always like falls over.
I think
the most awkward thing in the world. Makes him think of it. It's like he like the Giannis move where he does a spin and dunk, but he always like falls or trips and
ball goes flying. It's like, come on, man. Let's see. Calvin goes, Porzingis needs to be a top 20 player for the Mavs to have a chance. Dylan goes, I like Porzingis, man. Send his ass to Houston. Him and Green can run shit. I don't want him in Houston.
I don't want him in Houston either.
Cavs signing Denzel Valentine to a 2-year deal right now. Damn, he signed everybody.
What a waste of talent.
They did the same thing with he panned out.
Brandon Ingram, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Booker is a killer. I like Siakam. He can turn out to be a Julius Randle caliber.
He cannot. Julius Randle came out of Kentucky a hooper. That is a hooper. Pascal Siakam is 7 foot. That's the difference. That's why. That's what he is. He's a 7-footer.
And you can't teach height though, so you're gonna get those teams that are gonna be like, "Oh, I want that."
Man, I mean, I used to have a coach. He had a saying. He's like, "I could teach any of you fools how to shoot. I can't teach nobody how to score." Julius Randle knows how to score. You can't. You can't make Pascal Siakam a scorer.
The thing with me with Julius was even Kobe Bryant said this dude's a baller. Like Kobe Bryant said this dude's a baller. I feel like we always say on here though, it's where you end up though. I feel going to the Lakers, if you're not ready to just ball out, I feel there's certain teams that you should not go to, like Lakers, New York. You know, those are 2 media hungry things where all eyes are on you, bro. Like,
but to James's point earlier, if Zion wasn't trying to be Blake Griffin, Sean Kemp, and he said, I'm just going to be a hooper like Julius Randle. I'm not trying to climb everybody. I'm just trying to get buckets. Then we'd be all over him. Oh, Zion this, Zion that. But he's not. That's how good Julius Randle is. He's better than Zion, maybe.
Well, Julius Randle got hurt in his first or second game, I think. He
broke his leg against Houston in his first pro game.
Yeah. And if that doesn't set you back in LA with Kobe.
Then you went through the Kobe saga, the Kobe Fairwear Tour, and then they drafted Lonzo and Ingram while you were hurt. They just didn't know what they had.
Yeah.
I wanted the Rockets to get him.
Yeah, it is tough when these players get drafted to these big markets. It also is tough the other way, too. These players that get drafted to smaller markets light it up. They think they run it like you were mentioning earlier, and then they flame out. Kind of like Monte Ellis. Monte Ellis with Golden State for a while was the man. Then they traded him to Milwaukee. He put up numbers. Dallas, he put up numbers for a year. And then, boom, he flamed out once they realized.
Yeah, he went to Indiana and didn't do nothing.
Yeah, empty stats. It's all it is. He never took that next step or that next level.
I don't know. I just think that Philly, people might want Ingram. This is your opportunity to trade him for what you need. They got good young bigs over there. Jackson Hayes is a good player. You got Kira Lewis, Nickeil Walker-Alexander. So you have point guards. You really just need to go get a guard who can get a bucket, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Josh Hart. I like Josh Hart, but to me, he's just like a generic Danny Green.
Right. He's not anything like super special.
That's why I'm thinking, like, should you go after a McCollum if you're New Orleans? Somebody like that. Maybe a Levine.
I don't know if Chicago wants to get rid of Levine unless it was like a Bradley Beal type trade. It's tough with Portland because Portland's in every trade rumor, but it's like, are you trading? I mean, the Dame stuff has died down a bit, but McCollum's been in trade rumors for a while now.
You just have to trade McCollum because they play too similar. When you play Portland, it's like, okay, we only need to devise one plan because they're going to do the same thing. And there's just no variety to what they do. And then Jokic is hurt all the time. So what I want him around for?
Yeah, for real. So what was your division order that you had?
I'm going to go Memphis, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, New Orleans.
Oof.
Wow. I really feel like New Orleans is going to make a stupid trade and it's going to hinder them. And they're going to lose some games. But you also got to think about it. Is you brought in Valanciunas. That's just another dude in Zion's way.
Yeah, he does not fit well either. But I still go Memphis, Dallas. I put the Pelicans third just because of Zion, then Houston, then San Antonio.
I just think San Antonio is such a good defensive team, no matter who's on it, that they'll be competitive in a bunch of games.
They are super athletic. And it also kind of speaks to this division's talent. It's a little misplaced, and these rosters are really lopsided. But there's
like Nick said earlier, every team has a building block, but there's a lot of wasted talent in this division. We should just have like a fantasy draft amongst ourselves to see what we can do. I actually have more confidence in Houston than I do a team like New Orleans.
If you're fantasy drafting this division, that's a good exercise. I mean,
Luka's number one. Luka goes one.
I think Zion goes two.
Probably.
And then Ja. Or no.
See, Ja's one of them players where he's so consistent that he never has those like games. You know what I mean? He's gonna give you the same thing all the time. Like third, I might go Christian Wood. Because he's kind of consistent, and then he'll throw in like a 35-point game.
You would take Wood over Jalen Green too? Just the youth and the potential? Really? You like
because I watched Christian Wood play so much last year, and a majority of what he did it off the ball.
I love Chris. I was pissed when the Bucks got rid of him for nothing. They would play him like 2 minutes a game. He would light it up.
But to what I was saying earlier, that's one of them guys where he was kind of playing with false confidence in a sense because he was doing things that he had no business doing. It's like you're a good player. You shoot the mid-range good. You got a good little hook shot, a good little baseline fade. but you're not KD. You should not be squaring somebody up, going between the legs, trying to rise up from 17. That's not what you do. And he would do that, and that's how he got hurt. But if he just does what Christian Wood does, I like him.
But not over Ja.
Yeah, not over Ja. I don't know.
So if you had the third pick in this draft, you would take Wood?
I would. I would take Christian Wood.
Ooh, yeah, I would have to go Ja. When would do you think that Spurs will go in the top 5?
Any Spur? No, I don't. Not in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because they're slept on. Like, if it, just as us, as like real big NBA fans, we would say their best player right now is who? I would say DeJounte Murray.
Keldon or DeJounte? Yeah, I think it's one.
I think Keldon will be the better player, and he might in the foreseeable future lead the league in scoring. But right now, I'm going to say DeJounte's better. And there's 5 players in this division better than DeJounte Murray.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so hype on Houston, because I see Kevin Porter play, and I was like, he looks identical to DeJounte. So if you give me a DeJounte Murray with whatever Jalen Green amounts to, I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. So it looks like Nick got he's off the stream. So I guess we'll wrap things up a little bit here. So yeah, I think that was a good little fantasy draft there with this division. But yeah, final thoughts on the division as a whole. How many playoff teams?
2 maybe.
Because that was a good question with the Central. We all said maybe 1.
I think that if Dallas don't make the playoffs, that's a disappointment.
Yeah,
and Memphis, they've been on the rise. They went from the first year Ja was a rookie to the play-in game, which they did really well against Portland, but lost. They went first round last year against Utah. But they lose at 5, but it was kind of competitive for most of the time. So I think they have enough to get in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with 2.
Yeah, I think the line would be at 2 or 2.5 because I think Memphis comes back after their experience last year. Dallas, unless Luka got hurt, God forbid.
That team's just too good in the regular season.
Yeah,
but I think that they're running it. We just haven't mentioned it, but they may have the problems that Houston had for the longest. What Milwaukee had from up until recently is like, y'all are a regular season team. That stuff don't fly in the playoffs. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
I think 2 as well. And I think the Pelicans could be a play-in team. Not that they'd win a playing game, but I could definitely see the Pelicans sneaking that 10 seed, 9 seed. They were in it for a little bit. And
actually, if you really put it that way, then I think San Antonio and, I say New Orleans, either they're going to be super bad like they usually are, or they'll sneak into one of them games, honestly. I think Zion is like, dude, I can't keep losing.
Yeah. I think on Zion alone, they could be the 10 or the 9 seed, play a playing game, lose, and then like, oh, cool, we made the playing game. But the West is just so deep once we get
for all we know, Valanciunas may play better with Zion than Steven Adams. Because Steven Adams, if you're honest, he's kind of limited in what he could do. He just does it really hard. At least Valanciunas, he's got a post game. He can shoot the mid-range. He's a good rim protector as a helper. So, I mean, Valanciunas may actually help him.
Offensively, I take Valanciunas.
100%.
And that actually might hurt Memphis a little bit, losing Valanciunas' post play. They leaned on that in some games.
Well, I feel like that they're trying to be more athletic because, like, you have Jaren Jackson, you have Xavier Tillman, you have Brandon Clark. So I think they're really trying to get their bigs to run. And then worst case scenario, Steven Adams has a lot of pick and roll experience playing with Russell Westbrook.
They were slow for a young, quick team. So I think you're 100% right there that it's only going to speed them up. Not that
a lot of that comes from the fact that Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson are slow.
Yeah.
But then when you bring in Desmond Bane and whoever else they drafted, and they got the Milton kid that we traded over here. Yeah. So I think they're going to try to run a little bit more.
And it's going to be exciting. I mean,
it's ridiculous to not try to run. If you have that many shot blockers, it's ridiculous to not try to run.
Yeah. So we're both saying 2 playoff teams, 1 or 2 playing teams.
I like your line, 2.5. 2 for sure, and then probably a playing game team.
More than the Central had.
Yeah, for real, right? I actually feel like our division is better than theirs.
This division than the Central?
Yeah, maybe.
A lot more talent across the board. Yeah, not as top heavy. There's no title contender.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of young talent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not sweating it because in 2-3 years, this is tough.
If Zion stays, which I doubt it, but if he stays in 5 years, this division will be loaded.
But if you're being 100% honest, it's like, can Zion go play anywhere? I don't think so.
You like system-wise?
Yeah, system-wise, which is anybody. Because no matter where he goes, you have to accept the fact that now everything revolves around this guy.
True.
So I think he'll stay his 8 years there at the very least.
We'll see. Yeah, all the comments are sounding like he wants out sooner, but I haven't heard anything from him. So
yeah, me neither.
That's what matters most.
If Ben Simmons ain't good enough to ask for a trade, then Zion sure as hell ain't, because he ain't even been to the playoffs.
Yeah, but he has the potential. So yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah,
it was a fun. I need one more Texan before I go, huh?
Yeah.
Is Brandon Roby still on the team?
We just traded him 2 days ago. But but in all fairness, since you mentioned that and that came up 2 days ago, you're good. You're honorary from here on out.
I was like,
I don't know if it means much, but you're honorary Bayou City boy.
Thank you. That I was talking division back in my head though. I was like, I need one more Texan. I was like, oh, Roby. I was like, he was there a while, wasn't he?
3 years. 2 years. They had 3 years.
Yeah. You think they could beat the Jags?
Yeah, I think we beat the Jags.
Yeah.
Their defense is atrocious, man. I think if we run the ball, keep time of possession in our favor, then we'll do just fine. Hey, where'd you go?
Hey. My whole computer froze, and then it was like I was trying to click different things, and it just kept freezing on everyone. I had like 20 things open. I was like,
while you were gone, James named the 5th Texan, so he's honorary Bayou City boy.
I was watching on my phone.
Even though he's not technically a Texan anymore. Still counts. We'll round up.
So you're probationary Bayou City boy. You're Bayou City boy with a floaty.
I have an ankle bracelet. I stay at home. I have an ankle bracelet, but pretty soon I'll be official.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just wrapping up, Nick. Do you agree with the playoff teams too?
Name your order. Name your order.
Oh, I got Dallas, Grizzlies. I guess I'll give it to San Antonio because I got Popovich. And honestly, I got Houston, and then I got New Orleans. I just think New Orleans is lost.
You both had New Orleans in the basement.
I just don't really see how they got better. Like, the guards in the West are going to eat that team alive, but they're going to eat them alive.
I feel it's Zion's.
Am I wrong for saying, like, I kind of wish they would move that team?
No. I mean, the way you said, though, that, like, Dallas is.
And the reason I feel that way is because, like, James hit the nail on the head from earlier. Dallas is a football town.
Yeah.
We're just as close to New Orleans as we are Dallas. That is a freaking football town.
Yeah.
And they got 2 teams. They got the New Orleans Saints and the LSU Tigers.
Yeah.
They don't care about the Pelicans. Send the Pelicans to Seattle.
That's it. The Seattle needs a team and Vegas needs a team.
No, Vegas don't need a team because they got a football team and they don't know what they're doing. Send them to Seattle.
Bro, the games there will be fire, bro.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, would you rather go to Minnesota or would you rather go to Vegas?
Minnesota.
Well, I'd rather go to Vegas because half my family lives there. But
yeah,
Seattle needs a basketball team.
Zach's ass said he'd take Wood over Ja in a draft. Wait, you did?
We did a fantasy draft.
We did a fantasy draft just in our division, and you had the 3rd pick.
So it was Luka, then Zion.
Who do you take 3rd?
Ja.
I take
Dude, I'll take Ja before Zion too.
No,
I ain't taking Zion, bro.
But we're not looking for the best player. We're looking for the best stat line.
I'm taking Ja. I'm that much of a fan of this boy, dog.
I'm asking you to be realistic. What does his stat sheet look like?
He led his team to the playoffs where Zion's over here gassing on the bench.
But we're playing fantasy basketball, and Zion, he had 40 points and 16 rebounds and 2 blocks.
He ain't adding that if he ain't staying on that court. boy, bro, this dude's be walking up like this.
Well, he lives in New Orleans, bro. It's all that gumbo and beignets. What do you expect?
He need to lay off the jambalaya. That's what he need to do. And
It's
he
It's
good.
so
Seattle.
good, though.
Seattle has a bunch of salmon. He can
Yeah,
play it.
exactly.
Yeah. Move him to Seattle.
He dropped 47 last year. Seattle needs a team. I'm advocating for it for 100%. I think we all agree. Seattle, you deserve a team. I get it. You have the Seahawks, but you are a basketball city. And
Now they're the Kraken, too.
Yeah, and they got the Mariners.
And the Timbers.
It was just different when the Supersonics was around.
yeah, Kemp.
The Rain Man. Hey, he was the only player that I was ever worried about dunking on Olajuwon back in the day. He was the only one.
Boy was a monster.
It's like that. What was that thing? The Challenger Rockets issued the other day. If you could score on a prime Akeem Olajuwon in the paint,
Oh, if
for
you
$10
had
million,
for $10 million, you have 10 shots to score on a prime Akeem Olajuwon in the paint. If you don't, you lose your phone rights forever. Would you take that bet?
In the paint?
the paint. But a prime Olajuwon, prime.
I have a decent skyhook,
and you're like 9 feet tall.
and I'm tall, but no. I mean, a prime NBA player in general, but a prime Akeem, no. I wouldn't do it.
Zach said yes. I said hell no.
I would try it for fun, but like I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. It's like my favorite pro athlete ever. I'm gonna try it.
Like I know if I tried on like Giannis, there's no way. He would just I think Akeem would just body me up.
I think that you would have a decent chance today because he's not going to be used to the moves that people do today. So you would somehow get a fadeaway, a step back on him or something, and whatever happens.
Myself probably couldn't even beat Scalabrini, bro. So
dang, he said Scalabrini.
Calvin goes, Ja averaged 19 and 8 last year and dropped 44 in one game. Dude goes third, maybe second. I got him second, Calvin. I actually think he has a higher ceiling than Luka as a team player, because to me, like Luka is, I do give you that comparison of Luka being kind of like James Harden, like, but I feel he doesn't pass enough like James, where he reminds me of young James when he was with us, where he took over the game. And well, as he started to get weapons, James really had to learn what we're seeing now in Brooklyn. Oh, here's the ball.
But in fairness to Luka, I think the reason that he don't pass as much as James Harden did was because James Harden completely eliminated a mid-range game, and Luka never did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They both do Euro stepping and stuff.
I miss that. Nobody really does that no more.
Yeah. Well, now, I mean, with all the rules that they be coming up with in NBA, it's like
the best Euro step in the NBA today is Joel Embiid.
Giannis.
Joel Embiid.
Ginobili. No, I'm just kidding.
Giannis, I mean, Embiid can kind of do it too, but Giannis can Euro from like the 3-point line, then boom, he's dunking.
The best one is LeBron. Oh, wait, never mind. It's traveling.
The 3-step.
Oh, man.
Steps. But yeah, this was fun. This division had a lot more debates. I think these divisions are just gonna get better and better too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think every Friday now we're getting into those, especially when we get some of those juicy divisions, like with those teams that are actually competing for like spots against each other. I mean, you got some divisions where you're just like, oh, okay, there's like at least 4 playoff teams in this right here.
The Southeast, the Atlantic, the Pacific. There's gonna be some.
I can't wait to talk about the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm. Your boy Pascal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy you a Pascal jersey.
I'll wear it. I don't care.
I'm not wearing that. They're certain. If you're not one of my home teams, there are only a few players I will rock their jersey. He is not one of them.
Oh no, I would just do it to be ironic.
Like, he's not one of it.
Just because I was talking shit, then I'd wear it. But no, yeah.
The black and gold one, the North one. You get that one.
Oh man.
Oh dude.
You got anything else to add, boys?
Go Rockets. Tomorrow's 9/11. Don't forget it.
Yeah, they're gonna gonna be a nice
Pay your respects.
The boy get hurt. Oh, nah, there's gonna be a good Oh, I do want to add that I broke it earlier. The NBA said that they're gonna try to do a Field of Dreams game. So you know how the NHL did the winter game and then the MLB did.
Where are they gonna play it at?
So they said it's a lot harder because I mean, of course, basketball, humidity. There's not many places. One of the names that came up was like Rucker Park, and then there was different ones. They did say that they were thinking of maybe going to Indiana, I believe, and doing it like in a cornfield and building something there. I don't know. To me, I feel with basketball, it's probably the hardest one to do it because you're not.
I disagree. Like that's where we all started. We all started on concrete outside.
Yeah, we all started on concrete, but I'm not getting paid $100 million to. Like you would have to. I feel it would have to be two teams like Minnesota or like in Cleveland or Houston, like teams that need that money, you know.
Well, let me ask
you to watch.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Who don't want to watch? Like you had Yankees and White Sox. That's a good one, but
and it ended in a walk-off.
Yeah, that was good.
I don't know. I watched a lot of Ball is Life games, and they play outside, and they don't ever complain about it. So
yeah, but they're not getting paid. They're not going for $125 million contract from.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they do that and a guy gets hurt? Like,
it'd be done.
Those owners are gonna be mad.
I mean, would it be any different? Would it be any different than Paul George breaking his leg on Team USA?
No.
That set him back. Imagine what he could have been.
Be like a gimmick, and that's like the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, if it's cool, I think you get away with it. If it's not cool, I'm gonna nah. Didn't they play on a ship one time?
Oh, that's college. Yeah, in college
game, right?
That was pretty cool, like on a carrier. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I was watching that game. It was a college game. I was like, yo, this is kind of cool.
It is cool because it's outside. It's different.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna. All we know is they're gonna bring Space Jam to life and everything. And
how did you go from talking about 9/11 to Space Jam? What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know. It's me, bro. I don't know. Speaking of stuff that's popping, go check out What's Popping Corn Snacks. I said I'm not gonna play the intro tonight because it's a long intro and commercial. But every video, every post we do is sponsored by them. Got the best popcorn. I gotta mail out all y'all's popcorn actually. I gotta get y'all the addresses because I want to try the dill pickle one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That sounds good.
I was like, the s'mores one sounds good too and stuff. I know Zach wants the caramel.
I'll eat it. I don't care.
I said, but I know we would probably not next week, but the week after that we'll probably be raffling off one or something. So we're gonna figure it out. Make sure y'all go follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're pretty much on everything. LinkedIn. I mean, we're on every damn thing. And
a new division next week.
Yeah.
We'll figure out which one because
not sure which one.
I don't want to go like too juicy yet because there's some there that I'm just like, dang, these are gonna be tough because they're like right there with each other. But I mean, I think we got two of the more kind of up in the air divisions.
Just say it. You got the two most boring ones out of the way.
Yeah, that's true. Even though I'm a homer for the Rockets, I'm kind of like salivating over like these other ones. Like, ooh, okay.
Maybe the Northwest, Portland, Denver, Utah. Okay, see, that'd be a fun one.
Yeah. I said those are gonna be beautiful.
Memphis. Yeah. I mean Minnesota. Nick's favorite.
No, I forgot about that team. Never mind. I forgot we still got.
You can't wait. I can't wait to talk about Orlando.
Never mind.
Oh, my. Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I forgot. We still got Orlando, Minnesota, Sacramento,
Toronto.
Oh, your boy Siakam. Oh,
yeah, MVP.
Yeah,
of course.
Most valuable Pascal.
Wow.
He's won that back to back to back to back.
Yep.
Wow. Oh man. I ain't got nothing else to say now after that joke.
Well, it's a good place.
Neither.
All right, man. Y'all be safe. Have a good weekend. See y'all
Later.
next Friday.